Well, what a difference a few weeks makes. Just 3 weeks ago, Argyle were conceding 5 at home to Burnley, sitting bottom of the table without a hope, really, of getting out of the predicament they were in. But yesterday, they turned it around and scored 5 themselves against Millwall to come off the foot of the table. A quite remarkable evening at Home Park, making it 3 wins in a row in all competitions and back-to-back victories in the league for the first time this season. Miran Muslic is doing something for this team, and we, the Green Army, are loving it for sure. This is Argyle Analysis, and as always, I've got Aaron Cusack with me to help chat through the game. And Aaron, what a game to have to talk through, eh?
Fantastic. You know, the first time this year where perhaps going into the game felt like 3 points was achievable. And the performance that the boys put in was fantastic. The work ethic from the get-go was there, obviously following on from the brilliant result of the weekend. And they took Millwall, who had been on a decent run of form, apart and 3 vital points. A
lot of firsts in the game. First time that we'd scored a first half goal, would you believe it, since before Christmas. Got 2 of them as well, which was even better. First time we've beaten Millwall since 1997. As I said, the first time this season that we got back-to-back victories in the league, and the first time since we got promoted back in 2023 that we'd won 3 games on the bounce.
Really?
So it's absolutely remarkable, the turnaround, considering just 3 weeks previous, Argyle had conceded 5 at home in the first half of a match.
It's fantastic, and what it proves is that when you do make a change for the better, you start to return to things that perhaps we'd have become accustomed to as a football club over the last 2 years. For me, Charlie, it's the work ethic. You know, it's the vision and it's the identity that's coming out now, but it's the players buying into that work ethic first and foremost. If you're not prepared to work hard, tactics go out the window, but now you can start to apply tactics to what now is a working foundation.
Just before we get into watching the goals again, because we all want to do that, just talk to me about how impressed you were that they were able to produce a performance like that after Liverpool. It was always going to be the question, wasn't it? Can they get themselves going again after such an incredible high? Boy, did they.
Absolutely, yeah. And coming out of the blocks really fast, to be 2 up within, 7 or 8 minutes, was testament to their attitude going into the game. It's easy to kind of, what's the phrase, after the Lord Mayor's show, where it's a bit of an anticlimax and, you know, you lose that adrenaline of playing against an opponent like Liverpool and going into a team in your own division. But they didn't. They came out on the front foot because they've still got a point to prove. They've still got a massive, long way to go and are trying to achieve safety. So testament to every player that went onto that pitch, knowing that they were going to go on the front foot and start the game fast.
Yeah, let's have a look at that. Fast
Absolutely,
start.
And they did start fast. And I'm really pleased for Callum Wright with the first goal. It was a terrific ball in. Joe Bryan with an unfortunate own goal. I mean, Ryan Hardy will probably be a little bit annoyed with himself that he didn't get contact on it, but he made things happen, and I think perhaps that's what led to the own goal. And then 4 or 5 minutes later, Adam Randall, very brave.
So brave, isn't he?
Yeah, very brave, you know. But that's the kind of new mindset that the players have had instilled into them, Charlie. You know, attack every ball, be aggressive towards it. And Ryan Hardy was, for me, always going the same way and never missing. He's on an absolute crest of a wave, isn't he? And then second half, this kind of directness that we've become accustomed to in recent weeks. Bundu favouring the knockdown from Poulsen, you know, a long diag from Connor Hazard, good contact, great timing of the jump, really cute spin and a clinical finish. And then Ryan Hardy on a crest of a wave, as I've already said previously, getting his second goal in the game from an Argyle press, which led to a turnover in possession. We'll go into this in a little bit more detail in a minute. But
that's what a confident Ryan Hardy does. That's how he finishes.
Absolutely. It's delicate. It's beautifully weighted. He knew the keeper was coming out to close the angle. He just lifted it, and we've seen him do that. And then I thought Millwall, you know, they'll be disappointed to have conceded. There's actually a decent goal. Was it Aziz? Kind of just ghosted past Maxi. Little pullback, and then Joe Bryan, actually, who scored the own goal earlier with their consolation goal. And then last 3 or 4 minutes, the smother again. Nikola Katic, previous kind of performances would warrant a return like that, maybe. You know, the fact that he's in and around the kind of fight of the ball Well, did the keeper have it in his hands? On another day, it might be given against us, but not yesterday.
Yeah, everything went for us yesterday.
Absolutely.
And probably well deserved. And the celebration from Katic as well. You know, when you're 4-1 in a game, you know you've won it. The way he celebrated with this huge, well, attempted belly slide.
Absolutely.
And then the cheer, like the celebration from the support for him as well. I said it yesterday in commentary. He's only been here for, 2 weeks? 3 games he's played, and the fans absolutely adore him.
Absolutely, and it's, no, I'm not surprised, because it's the way, and Tagliafico as well, how they approach the game. They are ultra competitive, they are ultra aggressive, and they play with their heart on their sleeve. And that's what fans want. They want to know that you're giving everything for this football club. And there'll be days where it doesn't go to plan for us, but if you know that the players are giving everything, people will get behind them. And he's the epitome and one of the main reasons why our turnaround in fortunes are happening now.
Yeah. Since Muslic has come in, he's talked about the high press. In the first couple of games, they didn't get it right because the players were just, and he included himself in this, he said, I was guilty of it. I was just running around to try and press as quickly as possible, and you get picked off. Whereas they've had a couple of weeks to work on it, haven't they? To understand exactly what the trigger might be. That what we've seen in the last few matches is practiced pressing, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Specific pressing, position-specific pressing, and it invites them to have understanding. Now, a couple of bits of focused defending. I want us to pay attention to the central box. So don't worry about the ball. I want us to focus on how alert, how locked on, and how aware the defending unit is. So the ball is going to go along the byline, but look how well marshalled that back line is to smother that danger in and around that central area. And, you know, we've got a variation here. So this is Katic this time. We talk about having a checklist as a defender. Where's the ball? Where's the threat? Where's the nearest space? Because he knows where all 3 of them are. He's able to marshal it and let the ball run through. Great defending, not touching the ball. And talk about mindset. How much are you willing to run for your teammates to get the ball back? Watch Ryan Hardy and Katic. The moment the ball is turned over, it's not just, you know, wallowing in the misplaced pass or whatever. It's actually working together. 3 players then, with Poulsen coming in to make the third, to snuff out any potential danger. Now, I've mentioned this previously about 1v1 moments, Sorinola. If you're in a foot race with an opponent and you run parallel, you end up giving them an opportunity to get a cross in. So watch Sorinola here. He's going to run parallel and then eventually suffocate the space of the ball carrier by moving towards his hip. And because he moves towards his hip, it invites him to then steal the ball back. That's really clever defending. That's defending with purpose and with clarity. Our last example is how they shuffle across. So when a ball gets transitioned from one side of the pitch to the other, they have an area called the weak side. So it's the defensive weak side. So the aim is to get across by shuffling and then sprinting as a collective to suffocate that would-be vulnerable space. Another example as it gets recycled, here's the opposite weak side. So as the ball gets recycled, they all shuffle across. They don't sprint as much, but they are marshalling collectively. It leads then to an unforced error. We get a turnover higher up the pitch, and now we're back in the ascendancy and on the front foot. And that's, for me, a good example of symmetry. So when the ball goes from one side of the pitch to the other, one half of the group will shuffle, the furthest group will also kind of condense in, and then when it goes out the other side, they all shuffle across again, and they're almost like smothering and waving and then expanding collectively, meaning they're on point as a system.